Congratulations on advancing to the semifinals. I wanted to talk about Andrew Thomas. He didn't have too much to do during the game, but he steps up when he's needed. How crucial is that? And how big is that for a keeper kind of battling for a spot right now?
Well, I mean, there's competition throughout the team. I know where you guys are going. Steph Fry is still Steph Fry. Andrew did what he needed to do tonight. He did what he's good at, which is penalty kick shootouts. I actually had him on my bingo card as one of the kickers if it would have gone past 5. So he does his job. And that's my expectation, that players come in and they do the work, they play to their best abilities. And tonight, was Andrew's night in some ways because, he helped the team win. He's not alone. The 4 guys that did make the kicks, they helped. So, in my opinion, that's a team win. Total team win.
Brian, I got that you won the game and it's too early to look at it, but what was, if you could see the difficulty in finding the space? You talked about the awareness after last game because they were
Credit Martin
bunkered.
and his team.
They were bunkered
They
in.
had a good game plan. They must have watched the Minnesota film. I mean, I didn't ask him, but I'm assuming he did. But credit to Martin. He did a great job. And look, that's a proud team. People can say what they want, but that team right there competed for every ball, every inch of grass, every inch of turf, whatever you want to call it, they fought. And so I give them kudos for that.
Brian, just wanted to ask you a little bit about maybe what you were looking for. We seem to see you in the first half, wanting maybe the team to have a little bit more tempo in the first half. Is that an accurate assessment of it? And in terms of your substitutions, I was just wondering what you saw out of Danny Masovsky that he was giving you to keep him in the game as long as you did in that.
He's our leading scorer. So yes, in the first half, we wanted to play with more tempo. Ball moved too slow. We tried to, address that at halftime. Maybe it was a little better, maybe not. But in some, for all you statisticians out there, 80-20 possession. Some sites, other sites, maybe 75-25. But, we kept the ball for a long time.
Did you happen to see at all Danny maybe getting a little bit agitated prior to that red card? He seemed like he was getting a little bit.
Everybody was getting agitated. The refereeing wasn't great. So everybody was on edge. He doesn't need to go over the edge. And I'll just address it now. I had a private conversation with Danny, and that's going to stop.
Coach, just between this game and the Minnesota game, I'm curious what you learned from that Minnesota game that you implemented here, specifically about attacking a back 5 when you have.
Well, we're moving on because the Galaxy right now aren't going to play in a back line of 5 unless Greg really switches. They're winning 2-0. I don't think Pachuca plays in a back line of 5. So we'll continue to try and progress our team, and we'll, see what Sporting KC brings. I don't think they play in a back line of 5. So we're going to get geared up for Sporting KC and go from there.
Congratulations, Brian.
Thank you.
Los jugadores están haciendo un gran esfuerzo, tanto en el partido de Minnesota como el de hoy, eso hay que reconocerlo. ¿Cree que le están faltando un poco de chispa a la hora de definir adelante y cómo va a gestionar ese sobreesfuerzo que están teniendo? Muchas gracias.
Coach, the players seem to have been putting a lot of effort through the matches, including Minnesota and today. Do you think that there is something about the final definition, the finishing, and how you're going to manage the extra workload, extra effort?
Well, we're going to have to make some changes because there is fixture congestion. Look, the Minnesota game was travel, but we had the ball for the majority of the time. So the sprinting total distance, everything was less. Today, you're going to get the stats again, the data that says the players didn't run as much. But at the end of the day, the mental fatigue is what's most important, because that was a hard game mentally. So we're going to try and get them to recover mentally, and then we're going to move forward with our season.
Well, bueno, vamos a tener que hacer cambios por el tema de tener un calendario bastante lleno. En el partido con Minnesota fue un partido afuera, pero tuvimos el control del balón y con esto los jugadores no necesitan correr largas distancias, tan largas distancias. Y hoy, si vemos las estadísticas de hoy, también controlamos el balón y también podemos ver que los jugadores no corrieron tanto. Entonces, no solamente la fatiga física, pero también mental. Fue un partido duro mentalmente, entonces tenemos que también arreglar esto sobre el punto de vista mental y seguir con nuestra temporada. Felipe.
Coach Brian, congratulations, felicidades con el triunfo. Mi pregunta para usted es, ¿hay algo que le hubiera a usted gustado que el equipo hiciera para ganar en el tiempo regular? Y desde luego ganar y estar en semifinales es algo de celebrar. Pero ¿hay algo que le molestó a usted durante el partido, el arbitraje, quizás la forma de cómo se llevó a cabo el desarrollo del partido? Gracias.
Coach, congratulations. I wonder if you think that there was something to be done different to win in regulation time, and with the aspect of being able to advance to the semifinals, something to celebrate. But was there anything that upsets you from the perspective of the dynamic of the match, or also the refereeing?
I already addressed the refereeing in my previous question. I didn't think that was, it made the game challenging. Certainly that, again, Puebla played hard. They fought for everything. That made the game hard. Am I disappointed with anything? No. We're going to enjoy the moment because we're moving to a semifinal. This is a hard tournament to win. And when I look at the team, I'll certainly watch the film, Felipe. But sometimes the games like this, one chance, put the game away. And I think there was some moment there. Jesus, I know he wants that chance back. There were some other guys, maybe the ball that, goes across, and, there were some moments there where, that one little quality changes the game. But it didn't happen today. But they're happy in the locker room because they're moving forward into a semifinal.
Felipe, if you don't mind, in the interest of time, I will leave the translation as part of the Zoom translation and we'll move on, okay? Diego.
Felicitaciones por la campaña. A excepción del partido con Minnesota, el Sander tenía ya casi 10 partidos invicto. Está haciendo una gran campaña tanto en la MLS como en la Leagues Cup. ¿Cree haber encontrado ya el sistema de juego y el equipo ideal? Gracias.
Felicitaciones por esta. Congratulations for this campaign.
I got that.
Yeah. Sounders was carrying almost 10 matches without a loss. Do you think that this means that you might have found a system of play and the ideal starting team for the season?
No, we're missing Jordan, Albert, Ryan Kent, a lot of players, JP, Joe Paulo. There's too many injuries. The final team at the end of the year for the playoffs, we're going to need everyone. All the players will need to participate. That's why I'm happy with the depth of our roster. We have a very deep team. we're going to need everybody.
Diego, la misma cosa como dije, Felipe, por el tema de tiempo, dejo que las traducciones veas en Zoom.
Thank you. Yeah, congratulations on the win, Brian. Just in case somebody didn't ask, I wanted to ask about the order of the penalty kicks, if you had anything to do with that and how those kind of
Yeah,
went for
we
you.
always ask the players who wants to take the penalties. In my head, I already have an idea. We go through a lot of penalty kick training. So, you know, the guys that I had on my list were the same guys that raised our hand. And so you select them based on, you know, what you feel, what they feel. So that's how I come to the order that was there.
Okay, with that last question, we thank Coach Brian Schmetzer.
Thank you.
For your presence. Thank you
Thank
all for
you.
covering Leagues Cup 2025.